Well, the funny thing about that is that Steve Mass has openly refused to even look at any evidence at all. He's been asked to look at the Scholars for 9/11 Truth website, st911.org, and he says he won't do that. So it's kind of a strange situation to be in. I also have the governor of Wisconsin saying that perhaps I should be fired because my stability is in doubt based on the thing that said about 9/11, although he's backed off on that a little bit. And most recently, I have an esteemed colleague in the physics department whose name sounds like Professor Orwellian. I can't pronounce the exact name, but it's pretty close to that. Who was quoted in a story a few days ago as saying that I was a fruitcake. And that I had no business saying anything at all about 9/11 because I lacked advanced degrees in physics and engineering. Okay, and he also said, not only that, I shouldn't be teaching Islam in religious studies cross-listed with African studies and Asian languages and cultures of Asia because I'm a Muslim. And of course, I'd be way too biased to teach a class in Islam. Well, that's going to be news, of course, to the majority of the folks over in Jewish studies who are Jewish, and the majority of the folks in the African-American studies who are African-American. I think the empiricists over in the philosophy department, the existentialists who teach empiricism and existentialism, and they're fired for being biased. We're going to decimate the university. But this business of if you don't have advanced degrees in physics or engineering, you shouldn't even notice that there's something wrong about the official story of the collapse of Twin Towers is kind of strange. And I really appreciate that Judy Wood came out here and showed us those images and described what she saw. And I think I understood what she said, even though I don't have those degrees in mechanical engineering that she has. When I look at those images, and I've been studying 9/11 for 2.5 years, and it seems to me that to say that you need to have a degree in physics or mechanical engineering to see that those collapses were in fact demolitions, that in fact what we saw was that they blew the Twin Towers to Kingdom Come, to say that you need to have an advanced degree in science to say that, it's like saying you need an advanced degree in sartorial engineering to know that the emperor has no clothes. So, the question is, what are we going to do about this bizarre situation that we're in, where those of us who are speaking truth to power, who are using our reason to investigate empirical evidence, are being derided as crazy, and fruitcakes, and moonbats, and moonbutts, and dingbats, and wingnuts, and ding-dongs, and they're not very creative, though. They usually see the flow, so they keep saying it over and over and over again. And a situation where, I occasionally get emails telling me I'm crazy. And I always respond to them and say, anybody who emails a crazy person telling them they're crazy is crazy. These emailers actually email me back and say, you may have a point there. Maybe they're even seeking counseling after that. No, we're really in a very strange situation, and I'm glad that before I became a Muslim, I studied existentialist and especially absurdist literature, because it prepared me for this situation. But all joking aside here, where are we going to go from here? It seems to me that we've got a pretty good start in a number of areas. The loose change has made a huge difference this year. We've got the popular groundswell with loose change kind of leading the way to a whole lot of other folks right up there with them. And we've got the academics and the so-called intellectuals hopefully being awakened by ST911. And I think the nice thing about what's going on now, the nice thing about being horribly persecuted as an academic studying this is that it gives the media a chance to report on 9/11 without reporting on 9/11. And they can handle that, because the only way they have to actually report on 9/11 itself and the actual evidence, they might actually sneak it in by the back door. And having this persecution of academics that's broken out all over the media is actually a blessing in disguise in a lot of ways. Of course, that's easy for me to say because I've still got my job. My one semester, $8,000 a semester appointment as a lecturer. So if they took that away, and it wouldn't necessarily be the end of my academic career. I would make a comeback like, 6 months or whenever this regime topples. But they put Steve Jones on paid leave. Looks like they're firing Jimmy Woods. They've gone after my colleague in New Hampshire, William Woodward. I always think Woodard, but because I have a friend in 9/11 William Woodward. Thank you. And we're all suddenly on the hot seat, as the newspapers say. Well, the nice thing about this is that all of our colleagues in academia aren't going to sit still for this. Now, they may not agree with us on 9/11 because they may not have looked at the evidence yet. And that's the only reason they wouldn't. But one thing that they do agree with us on is that academic freedom protects the right of college, university instructors to exercise their constitutional right of free speech on their own time. I don't think there are a whole lot of professors out there who disagree with that. So, they notice that there's a problem here with this persecuting Steve Jones because of what he said. It has nothing to do with his work. And they will notice. Maybe they'll also take another look at 9/11, just out of curiosity. Why is William Woodward saying these things? Why is Steve Jones publishing these articles that are then getting just yanked from the BYU website that was up for quite a while? And the thing about it is that in academia, we're not all that smart, but we are all at least trained in critical thinking. That doesn't mean we use our training. But we sort of have a basic idea how to do it, supposedly. And when you get a whole bunch of people who've been trained in critical thinking, all you have to do is sit them down and read the 9/11 Commission report, and read, say, David Griffin's critique of it, just one book. That's all it takes. No reasonable person who reads 2 books can possibly deny that leaving this report as the official record of the most important historical event of the 21st century is absurd. It's not something that a reasonable person could support. Yeah?